This is E. Matthews Jet, and today we're going to talk about my 3030 Winchester right here. I bought this Winchester in 1992. I own many firearms, but I've always been a Winchester fanatic. I mean, like an addictive fanatic. And when I bought this rifle, I've shot many guns throughout my life, but when I bought this rifle, I'm gonna sound stupid right now, but I didn't buy it to shoot it. So we're in 2026. In 1992, I purchased a rifle, and for many years, I didn't fire it. I'm talking about many years. I finally fired it, I think it was in 2007, 2008, and then I'm not accurate on that. And a friend of mine that also shoots and he owns guns, I showed him the rifle, and he told me, "Listen, we gotta take the thing to the range and shoot it." So I told him I didn't want to shoot it. I want to keep it new forever. And he said, "No, we need to shoot at least a couple of rounds to it." So we took it to the range against my will. I was pretty much dragged to the range against my will with the rifle, and we shot like 7 to 8 rounds to it. So we're in 2026. It only has about 7, 8 rounds put through it. It never been fired again. And I got many friends because I shoot with a group of buddies, and we do a lot of shooting. When I say we do a lot of shooting, we do a lot of shooting. This is nothing because I got way more firearms than this. Okay? So he insisted for me to at least take it out. He said, "I understand you don't want to shoot it because of Winchester. It's a Winchester. I'm a Winchester fanatic. Uh, you know, people collect baseball cards and they want a Mickey Mantle card, or you know, I don't know nothing about baseball, but I think the ideal card is Mickey Mantle, a Beirut, and the guy that played in Puerto Rico. I don't remember his name. He died in a plane crash, and I believe those are the cards that are worth money. Okay, but for me, this rifle right here is my baseball card, and I purchased this in '92, and when I bought it, it came with this safety switch here. I'm against of it because when this safety switch came out, I think it was Remington. I heard several stories that said Remington and FN the purchased the company and they added this because in the year that they added this, government wanted a safety switch on everything. So they were forced to put it on the Winchester, even though I don't see why. Because unless you rack this, it's not gonna shoot. But I think for them to appease the bullshit government at the time, they complied. So I don't care. For me, it's a Winchester. A Winchester's a Winchester. So this is my Winchester 3030. It's my Colt Peacemaker Beretta 92A1, Remington New Army, Ruger Old Army, Smith& Wesson M&P 9, Ruger GP 100, Henry 357 Magnum Big Boy, SKS, Norenko Chinese, 762 by 39. This one right here is the. I'm going through a brain. Century Arms. Century Arms, 762 by 39. Custom build that it's almost done. MMP Smith and Wesson, uh, Bushmaster, Ruger, 5.56, and those I built. I built this one. I built that one, and I built this one also. I always wanted to make my own M16 style rifle. I can't afford to buy a real M16. I wish one day before I croak, I would like to have a real M16 just to keep it. I wouldn't even shoot it. I just keep it in my gun safe and bring it out and wipe it in my living room as I watch a movie. I own more firearms than this. This is my whole gun collection. I own pretty much huge gun collection, and it's all legally mine. Everything I buy is legal. I don't do nothing illegal. I don't buy guns from behind of a trunk of a car, or a van opening their door, or from a basement. Everything's legit. I have all the paperwork. I'm a licensed gun owner. I'm a member of NRA, and I'm a member of my brain is dead. Okay, I can't think right now. It's late at night. I'm chilling. Okay, I'm a member of Guns of America and other organizations that right now my brain is not functioning. So I'm pro Second Amendment. I believe in the right to keep and bear arms. I believe in the right to carry a firearm at all time for defensive purpose. The government wants you to take out a little piece of paper, create a card to say you can carry, and I'm against that. If I'm pro Second Amendment, I should not need a gun permit even though I have it. I should not need gun permits for guns even though I do have it. I don't feel that I should have. I feel that I should have the right to carry a firearm whenever I want. Government does not own me, does not control me, and the Second Amendment is not a second right. It's your first right. We have our First Amendment and our Second Amendment. They should have put the Second Amendment first and then the First Amendment second. Even though of First Amendment is the right to speak your mind. Okay. So I wanted to show my Winchester. This is an 1894 model. I purchased it in 1992. I work in New York City. I live in New Jersey. At the time, I was living in Queens, but I moved from upstate New York, and I met a beautiful woman. I fell in love with her. We got married. We decided to have kids, and at the time, I was working for a company called Jeffrey Roberts on 47th Street, and I would go out for lunch and go look for what I'm gonna eat for the day, for the afternoon. Like I would walk New York City at lunchtime to see what am I gonna eat today. So there's a deli that I was used to going into, and I bought a sandwich. I actually bought what they call a Cuban sandwich. It comes with pork, cheese, pickles, and mayonnaise all over the damn thing. So I bought a Cuban sandwich. I bought a ginger ale. So I'm walking with my sandwich, and I said before I go back to work and eat my lunch, I'm gonna go into this hobby shop that's on 45th Street and between 6th and 7th Avenue. You have to go into the basement. They had trains, models. This guy had everything. Today he's still alive. He's got everything. The place is still there. So I walked around, and I was many times I ate my sandwich inside his hobby shop because he knew me. We were pretty much good friends. But I decided not to eat my sandwich there. I wanted to go back to work and eat my sandwich at work. So I come out the building, and I'm standing there on 45th Street, and I look across the street and I see a rack with rifle bags. And I'm saying, no way. Across the street, they got rifle bags there. So I said, that's got to be a gun store. So I crossed the street. I looked for the building where the entrance is. It was on the second floor, so I got into the elevator and then went up. When the door opened, it was a goddamn gun store. So I walked in, walked around. I introduced myself and I said, my name is Ernest Matthews. I've been into firearms since the early 80s. I used to live in upstate New York. I've shot for many years and I found your store. So they told me, welcome to the store. They showed me their store. I went home that day. The next day, I gathered up all my pictures from when I lived in upstate. And I ran back to them and I showed them all my pictures that I hunted. I shot out in the country. I showed them pictures of my firearms. And we became good friends. So I continued going there, and the owner of the store went through a massive stroke. So he went through a massive stroke, and I don't know what happened in the hospital, but they put him in a nursing home. So his partner told me what happened, and I felt bad because then the store closed and they had to dismantle the store. Well, before he had the stroke, let me go back. So I ordered this from him. This is the Ruger Old Army black powder that was purchased in '92. So I ordered the revolver from him. I took it home because they already knew me because I was hanging out there for a long time. Uh, when I used to go to the store, I used to look at this rifle and I would grab this. Like, they asked me why you love the Winchester so much. I said, look, that's the history of guns. You know, if you look at the history of firearms, even though guns been out way before this is pretty much what controlled the West. It wasn't fucking, one-shot muskets or one-shot musket handguns. What controlled the West was the Winchester, and Sam Colt made the Peacemaker. So the Peacemaker and this rifle is what controlled the West. So after I told them the history, they said to me, Ernest, we know who you are, we know where you come from, we know your history, you showed us all your pictures, everything. We want you to buy this Winchester. But I said, but I don't have a New York rifle permit. And they said to me, if we know who you are and we know your history, we know who you are, we can sell you this. And it's legal. It's binding in all states. Nobody can take it away from you because we know who you are. So we want you to buy it, and we will be honored if you took it home today. I almost choked on my sandwich because as they're talking to me, I'm eating my sandwich. So I told them I don't have the money to buy it right now, but if you give me to Friday, I can buy the rifle. I'll come pick it up. So that's what happened. They told me to take it now. I told them no. I'll wait till Friday. So Friday I got paid. I went and cashed my check. In '92, back in '92, I didn't have a checking account. I didn't even have a bank account. I would go run to the bank and just cash my check. So I ran back to the store and I gave them the money and I took the rifle home. Even though they told me you could take it now, I said no, I'll wait till Friday. So Friday I ran like a bitch to the bank. I cashed my check and I ran to the store. I didn't even buy lunch that day. I didn't eat anything. I just went and picked up the rifle. I picked up the rifle and I was living in the fuck I was living at the time. Right over the 59th Street Bridge. I was living in Long Island City because that's where my girl and I started living together. So I brought the rifle home, opened up the box, and so happened that my landlord came up because he wanted to check out something on the roof, and he knocked on my door and he says, I gotta go up to the roof. So I told him, check out what I just got home. So I showed him the rifle. So yeah, so this is my 3030 Winchester lever action model 1894 that was purchased in 1992. So I just gave you the whole story how the rifle came into my home. So I would go to the gun store. They had like a lot of rifles. I looked at their bolt action rifles. I checked out their shotguns. But when they had only one Winchester on the wall, and it was this one. So I would come home. I would come to their store every day at lunchtime, and I would grab this rifle. And they told me we knew you wanted the rifle, and a couple customers came in, and they said they wanted to take it, and the gun owners told the customers that wanted the rifle that the rifle was sold already. They said we have a customer. He put a deposit on it, and it's his rifle. And I didn't even know this because they told me this like about a week later after I took the rifle home. After I took the rifle home, they told me the whole story. That they held the rifle for me because they knew that I wanted it, but I didn't have a New York permit, and they knew I wanted the gun. They had customers come in and told them, "We'll take the rifle," and they told the customers that the rifle was sold. So about a week later, after me purchasing the rifle, they told me the whole story, and they left me completely stunned. And I had a sandwich in my mouth and I almost choked again. I said, "You guys are killing me, man." They said, "Ernest, we were looking at you, and every single time you came into the store, you would go straight to that rifle, and you didn't care about anything else in the store but that gun." So we talked about it, and we said, "You know what? It's your rifle." So I took the rifle home, and it's been with me since 1992, and it's 2026 today. And the rifle's with me with only 8 shots put through it. So this rifle's in brand new condition. Uh, One day I did a barbecue, and a friend of mine came to visit me with his wife, and he asked me to show him the rifle. So I had a little cooking grease from the ribs, and it created some crap there. Look at it. But I sanded down, and I use blue steel bluing, and I blued it a little bit. But now I noticed it's breaking out a little bit here and there. From 2000, from 1992 to 2026, it's okay. Look, it's got some little spots. These come off. I don't want to beat up my other guns. Do not hit your other guns. All this comes off. So you can raise it. But it's got like this here that won't go away. It's got a couple of little shits on it. And also over here, this was from the barbecue. And I blew this side, but I didn't blow the other side. Like I was so concentrated on this side that I didn't even think about the other side, so I never blew the other side. So I gotta blue it. I hit it with a little bit of. They got Brillo pads with no soap on it, so I use a non-soap pad to scuff it. And when I blew this side, my intention was to do this side, but I never did. Till today, it's never been blued, even though I should do it. So you're looking at a brand new Winchester from 1992, and I did the research on the rifle, and the rifle was manufactured in 1990, and I bought it in 92. So it must have sat in a warehouse for a year and something until it entered their store. And the wood is in new. I mean, this wood is in brand new condition. The barrel's in new condition. This has never been loaded to the maximum. I don't even know how many rounds it holds because at the time I shot it, I was shooting like putting in like 2 3 rounds, maybe 4 rounds max. They had never topped out the tube, so I don't know what it shoots. And this is a scope that I bought from the same person. When I bought the rifle, I took it home, and now listen to this. I was working in New York on 47th Street. I picked up the rifle in the box. I carried it to my job. I put it in a corner. I didn't show it to nobody. So I finished the day, and because I lived in Queens, I took the N train home with the rifle in the box all the way home. I got off the train and I walked all the way home with it. I brought it upstairs, and my wife wasn't home, so I opened it up and I started looking at it. And about 15 minutes later, my landlord knocked on the door because he had to go to the roof or something. So I showed it to him. So this is it. This is what I love about the United States. The United States is a free land. It's not to be controlled by socialism or communism. We got this idiot Mandani just doing everything within his power to feed the people that everything should be free, because they want to take from the rich and give it to the poor, playing Robin Hood. Pretty much they don't give a fuck about nobody because by the end of the day, if they neuter this country the way it is, they're all going to become broke. They're going to make some socialists rich, communists rich, and the rest of us are going to stand in lines and wait for toilet paper and a pair of shoes. You know, we got people in this country that just don't get it. They're fucking ignorant and stupid. And they want to say, yes, socialism is good. We get everything free. Housing free, rent free, shoes free, food free. And we don't need to work. They got it wrong. This is a country where everybody got to get their ass up and go to work. Going to work is good. It makes you responsible for something. Not responsible for nothing. You can't come into this country and be a loser. You know, you need to work your way. Like, look at me. I've worked my whole life. My whole life. Nobody ever gave me a fucking thing. You know, I dropped out of school because I had to help my mother out. I'm going to tell you the story. I never told nobody. My mother was a lady that didn't have money. She worked in factories sewing, making minimum wage. She was struggling. I used to look at her crying, sitting on her bed with a white robe, a bathroom robe, and a towel on her head, an ashtray on the bed, a cigarette in her hand, and looking at the bills and crying. That was driving me crazy. So one day I decided to, quit school and go to work. You gotta go to work, Ernest. If you don't go to work, we're gonna wind up out in the streets. If I didn't go to work, my mother and I, we would have became homeless back in the 80s. So I went to work. And she didn't know for a year or over a year that I was working. Uh, she was finding money around the house, and because I would put money in her robe and one of her drawers. She had a china cabinet with her dishes and cups and stuff. I would put 20 bucks here, 30 bucks there. So I was giving her money weekly without her knowing it. And one day she comes up to me, she says, I'm going crazy. I said, what's going on, Mom? She says, I'm finding money all over the house. So I lied to her. I said, Mom, maybe you put it there and you don't remember. I said, Ma, it's okay. Maybe you put it there, you don't remember. So she started finding money all over the house. And she had some lady friends that would come and visit her, and she would visit them. And somehow a lady passed by a factory where I was loading up a truck with file cabinets. And she saw me because I didn't even see her. So she went back to my mom and said, oh, I saw your son. I saw your son working over here. So one day I'm loading up a truck with some co-workers, and she shows up and she screamed at me in front of my co-workers and walked away and left crying. So I went home that day and she yelled at me and started telling me, all this money I've been finding around the house, it was you. You giving it to me. And I said, Ma, if I didn't do this, we will be in the streets. And from now on, I have to work, because if I don't work with the little bit you're making, you're not going to cover your bills. We're going to wind up out in the streets. So, since 1980 to 2026, I've been working every day, nonstop, until November last year that I almost died. Okay? I had a stroke. I jumped on my motorcycle. I jumped on my Harley. I drove myself to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, because when I got sick at home, I got this big asthma attack. So I got scared, so I got dressed and I jumped on my Harley. I rode myself to the hospital. When I got to the emergency room, they told me, you're not having an asthma attack. You're going through a stroke and you're about to have a massive heart attack. So they ran all the tests on me, and they said, Ernest, you cannot go home because you're within 1 or 2 days of dying. We need to open up your chest and go into your heart. So I was told that they needed to do a quadruple bypass on me. And I spent almost a whole month in the hospital. And I said, damn, I've been a good guy my whole life, and I'm about to die. So I spent since November 2nd to November 19th, when I was released, in the hospital. And because my bills were piling up, okay, listen to this other story. In the hospital, they wanted to send me to a nursing home for a couple of weeks. They said, you can't go home yet, but we're going to send you to a nursing home for about 2 to 3 weeks. And I said, no, I can't go to a nursing home because I got my rents, I got all my bills on top of me. And they told me, what's more important, your life or your bills? I told them my bills. So I left the hospital against hospital wishes, and I went back home, and I went back to work to pay my bills. Or if not, I would still be in the streets. Because if I don't pay my damn rent and my food and my light and my phone, where am I gonna be? Out in the streets. I'm not a wealthy person. I'm an employee in a big company, earning a paycheck, doing everything to survive, like everybody else, because we're all trying to survive. Unless you're a millionaire with 100 million, 50 million, or 10 million in your account, we're nothing but an employee. So that's it. I went through a quadruple bypass. I did the video on it. If you look for it, you'll find it. So that's it. I'm back to work. I'm hanging out. My doctor says I'm allowed to drink 2, 3 beers. So for this weekend, I bought 3 beers. I drank two yesterday, Friday, and my last one is here today. And I'm a little bit congested because I've been congested for a couple of weeks. So when I get congested, like with the flu that wants to hit me, I drink a little bit of brandy. So a couple of days back, I bought some brandy, even though my neighbor came up and drank most of it, but I still got a little bit left over. So I'm drinking a cold beer and having a little bit of brandy to kill the bacteria. I want to apologize for giving you all this other drama. This video was on the Winchester and nothing else. I sincerely apologize, but this is who I am. I'm E. Matthews Jet. I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm a good guy. I'm a hardworking guy. I'm a family man. I have a wife and a daughter, and I'm just trying to survive like everybody else on this planet. I'm a non-violent person. I have no interest in killing anybody. All of this is, even though it's for home protection, but like for home protection, all I need is one AR and a pistol, and the rest is for recreation and hobby. So that's it. I'm E. Matthews Jet, letting you go. I apologize for feeding you all my extra drama in my life, but this is who I am. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a nice weekend. Oh, and by the way, I start my vacation for 2 weeks on Monday. Thank you.